two of the most beloved icons of Hollywood and telling you that the world they'd lived in was not as it seemed, that glamorous life and the red carpet events a thin veneer on a far more unsettling reality. Jim Carrey and Johnny Depp, two men who defined eras of cinema, pulled back the curtain on the dark underbelly of Hollywood. And in doing so, they may have forever changed the way we perceive Hollywood. From The Mask to Ace Ventura, the comic genius of Jim Carrey has become increasingly vocal about his dissatisfaction with the Hollywood machine. Recently, Carrey has spoken about how superficial the industry is and how celebrity culture does not possess any real meaning other than as an insignificant performance. It all came to a head during a red carpet interview in which he admitted he'd come to the event because it represented the most meaningless thing he could find.
Wait, tell me, is it true you're wandering the streets? You need a date to the party? What's up?
No. I'm doing just fine. I just, there's no meaning to any of this. So I wanted to find the most meaningless thing that I could come to and join, and here I am.
Carrey gives an indication that it is much deeper than his tiredness with fame. He talks about the surreal parties of the powerful at Hollywood as if it's some kind of bizarre theatrical performance where everybody pretends to be another character. The same celebrities idolized in movies by their fans, when the cameras are off, seem different people. No more charming personalities they project, but rather locked in some strange play where morals and decency seem to vanish. Carrey portrays gatherings like these as lacking any substantial material. But Carrey's critique does not stay at the level of parties and superficial conversations. He goes one step further, claiming that Hollywood operates at the whim of powerful, invisible forces that regulate not only the stars, but the very public that consumes their work as well. According to him, Hollywood works as a distraction, a system designed to keep people docile and focused on entertainment rather than questioning what's really happening in the world. The movies, the sitcoms, even the late-night talk shows, all, he says, part of a larger mechanism meant to pacify the masses. This theory has led Carrey to take a step back from the industry in which he gained fame. He once spoke candidly about how it affected him, taking a toll on him that made him reorganize what was more important. Once the life of Hollywood with his electric performances, Carrey's retreat from the spotlight and candid revelations provide a shocking look at one of the personal costs of living under constant public scrutiny in an industry that demands you play a role on and off screen. While the core of Jim Carrey's critique is rooted in phoniness regarding Hollywood's culture, Johnny Depp's fight with the industry has been much more of a personal battle. Depp was once one of the most bankable stars in the world, but after a very publicized legal battle with his ex-wife, Amber Heard, things took a hit for him in his professional life. As he was accused and studios began to distance from him, Depp started to talk about the dynamics and actual authority that were in play behind the scenes in Hollywood. Unlike Carrey, who spoke about the falseness of the Hollywood scene, Depp definitely dove deep into the heart of who actually runs the industry. At least, according to Depp, it is not the studio or the powerful executive with the reins. The audience is. The people buying the tickets, the streamers of films, and the audience giving support to the content creators are real power players in the entertainment world. According to Depp, Hollywood has underestimated the intelligence and influence of its audiences for years by forcing feed-through agendas and narratives without considering that it is always the audience that can make something thrive or fail. This sentiment became more apt during his legal fights when the fans came out in force to support Depp. Depp fans then launched a boycott of the movie on social media after Warner Bros. Chose to stick with Amber Heard in Aquaman 2 amidst all the controversy. It was a clear-cut case of the power Depp spoke about, viewership and its ability to force change by choosing what it will and what it will not support. Beyond the power dynamics of inauthenticity, both Carrey and Depp have insinuated an even darker underbelly to the gleaming veneer of Hollywood. Carrey mentioned secretive, almost cult-like behavior at exclusive Hollywood parties and insinuated that the powers that be within the industry are involved in a lot more than people would imagine. Although he does not very often refer to the specifics with much clarity and definition, Carrey has stated that these elite circles often operate with packed secrecy, having parties and events designed to reinforce a system of control and manipulation that reaches out far beyond a movie. Even Depp has suggested those deeper, darker shades of the character. His descriptions of Hollywood as a life-manufacturing and destroying machine serve to point out the cutthroat nature of such an industry built upon exploitation. For the actors, too, it is not only personal struggles that they have had to face, but also the mechanisms that keep this system up and running. Pressures on stars for an image of perfection, demands of conformance to a specific narrative, and the readiness of the industry to discard their brightest talents the very moment they no longer serve its purpose. All this shows deep-seated corruption far beyond anything related to entertainment. Of course, to speak out against an industry as powerful as Hollywood means that there are always consequences. Both Carrey and Depp have suffered slings and arrows of outraged comments and actions. Carrey's very honesty about his mental health struggles and critiques of superficial Hollywood have seen some question his stability, while Depp's legal battles and very public feud with Hollywood have him blacklisted from major studios. In any case, it does seem that, in either actor, the motive to speak out is more of an urge to tell the truth than an urge for the limelight. Carrey, for instance, spoke to how he sacrificed his life so as to expose the industry, even going so far as to say that the reason his career is not in as good a place as it once was is because he blew the whistle on dark parts of Hollywood. Depp, on the other hand, has continuously used his fans as a mean for staying relevant, by mentioning that it is because of them that he may not have been completely scrubbed from the industry altogether. Yet one has to wonder, will anything really change? As Carrey and Depp have tried to point out, Hollywood is in deep with the way things are done, for better or for worse, thanks to money, power, and influence. But as more celebrities begin to speak out, and as audiences become more aware of the hidden forces shaping the industry, the cracks in the facade are beginning to show. Suggesting that the real power lies with the audience, Depp seems to say that the change might not come within Hollywood itself, but rather in view of it and by those watching that choose which stories would be supported. It has already begun, some balance of power away from traditional studios. With the rise of independent content creators, streaming platforms, fans today are more powerful than ever, and with Depp's hint, Carrey's revelations of the vain Hollywood life also served as a warning that fame and fortune are not to die for, especially when authenticity and personal freedom were the exchange. Both Carrey and Depp have stepped away from the Hollywood machine, but with that, they fired up a conversation far bigger than themselves. They peeled back the curtain on a system that proselytized and prospered on those very things mentioned above: the illusion, the control, and the manipulation. The world is called to look elsewhere than at glitz and glamour if it wants to see what really lies beneath.